Not only can you get stronger training around RP0, about 10 reps in reserve, it's arguably more optimal. Once again, I completed an entire training cycle training under 80% of my 1 rep max for my rep work, which was all doubles. I can typically do about 10 reps at 80%, so I was training at RP0 or less, 10 or more reps in reserve. I did try higher intensity on bench. I did about 5% of my 1 rep max higher. I dialed back volume to compensate, and it went pretty terribly. I regressed about 40 pounds. Now I admit, I am probably a bit of an outlier here for how low I'm going exactly, but I do still think the principle of training with much more reps in reserve than what is common can be beneficial for strength. So even if I am a bit of an extreme outlier here, you can adjust these numbers to yourself and just take the general principle of training more submaximally and reaping the benefits. Now, if you break down the adaptations that lead to more strength, it basically comes down to motor development and increased hypertrophy. And for achieving this, I really believe a polarized approach of submaximal SBD work and very intense accessories is optimal. So first off, why submaximal SBD work? Well, motor development seems to be impaired by fatigue. Most people are going to consider fatigue for given workouts. Are they coming into it recovered? But you can also consider fatigue within an actual set, rep to rep. Progressive reps in your set are going to be more and more fatigued, and your motor pattern might change to compensate from certain muscles fatiguing. This hurts your specificity and potentially your motor learning. Additionally, you can handle a lot more volume when intensity is kept more submaximal. And in motor development research, beyond just powerlifting, more volume is unequivocally superior for motor learning. Now, volume and strength might have a less clear relationship in the research, but that's probably due to the effects of fatigue from higher volumes masking strength. Now, some people bring up how research indicates higher loads are better for strength gains, but the lower bound of this is a lot lower than most people expect, well within what I'm advocating for here. And a likely explanation for why these higher intensities are better for strength is due to motor unit recruitment. During the 1 rep max, we have pretty much all of our motor units we can recruit being recruited. So in training, we want sufficient load to activate all these fibers similarly. And as long as you're lifting with maximal intent, that is trying to move the weight as fast as you can, within control of course, it doesn't take that much weight, pretty low percentages of your 1 rep max, to maximize motor unit recruitment. But again, as your sets go on, more and more of your motor units start to fatigue and stop contracting. That's why the weights get harder. So again, this could be less specific to your 1 rep max, and your motor pattern again will change. So the basic theory here is we're trying to do as much training as we can with all of our motor units activated. Now, these submaximal intensities have two downsides that need to be covered by some higher intensity work, both on SBD and accessory lifts. The first and most obvious one is that submaximal intensities are not optimal for hypertrophy. But the thing is, squat, bench, and deadlift, or close variations of it, are probably not the most optimal for hypertrophy anyways, hence the polarized approach I mentioned before. Pushing muscles closer to or at failure seems to be important and superior for hypertrophy, and this is better done on less fatigue and isolation work versus the squat, bench, and the deadlift. Now, there are some other benefits of isolation work. They tend to be more stable, and since we're not working other muscles, we tend to have higher levels of motor unit recruitment within the muscle, which may be superior for hypertrophy. You can also hit muscles in ranges of motion that are better for hypertrophy, because certain ones seem to be better than others. And the other big aspect where we need more intense work is just obviously on SBD. There's some mental benefits of handling these more maximal loads to get used to them. Plus some other benefits of higher loads. We can see how our strength is better with maximal loads, so we can get an idea if our program is actually working or not. If you're going to do a competition or max out, you want to have a rough range of what your attempts are going to be, so again, you need to do a bit more maximal to see where your strength is at. Plus, when we hit more maximal weights on squat, bench, and deadlift, we can better tell what our weak points are, which can inform training. Again though, I don't think you need to do a ton of top sets to get the benefits here. Just once a week can be plenty, and you could even just scrap it until you're closer to a meet or maxing out. It shouldn't really take you more than a few weeks tops to get back used to these heavier weights. So to summarize, I think the intensity range that's effective for powerlifting or just strength training in general is probably a lot lower than most people think. We can better achieve motor development with these more submaximal intensities, and then we can polarize our approach where we do really intense accessory work to still achieve hypertrophy, and again, a few top sets of SBD done a bit more intensely to get those benefits. Something else that is helpful is the Odyssey bench mat. This non-slip mat really helps you use leg drive in a commercial gym, where the benches may be more slippery. They've been a big help for me in that situation. They have their Black Friday sale on currently until midnight December 1st. You buy one mat and get a free liquid chalk, or if you buy 2 liquid chalks, you get a third free. Good for stocking up if you're a liquid chalk user. You can get some at the link in the description and pinned comment, and use code MATTVENA, all one word. Thank you to Odyssey. See the description and pinned comment where to contact me for coaching and programs, my socials, and links to my sponsors. I hope this video was helpful. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And once again, thanks for watching.